Welcome. Let's join best-selling author Fred Kuhn as he interviews our next guest expert.
Welcome, everybody. Our subject today is resumes, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And our guest is Andrew Ko, an executive recruiter, executive career coach, credentialed global career development facilitator, and co-author of a book called Leveraging LinkedIn for Job Search Success 2018. Andrew, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Fred.
So our topic today is resumes, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we both, as recruiters, have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. Right?
That is true.
So let's just take some of the basics of the thing, all right? Length. What should a length be? I mean, everybody says, 1 page, 2 page, 3 page. What do you think the length of a resume should be?
So we've all heard before that the rule of thumb is 2 pages, right? And that's fine to try to stick with that. But, if a recruiter, if we get a qualified candidate that has, more than 2 pages, we're not going to balk at it, right? I mean, it's fine. We're more concerned about, are they qualified? Do they have the qualifications? Do they have that executive presence? Is it an executive looking resume? Is it free from, all these red flags and these errors, right? If it goes over 2 pages to 3 pages, I don't think that's a big deal, right? Of course, there are plenty of resume formats where if it's a government job, it's a federal resume. Yeah.
Oh, that's a very different subject. And then they could be 40 pages.
Maybe even more, right?
Yeah.
So for the civilian resume, the rule of thumb is 2 pages, and it's fine to try to stick with that. But if you happen to go over 2 pages, I think it's fine as long as you've got your qualifications and it's clearly identifiable. It's a professional-looking resume. That's really what's important, as long as you're getting your qualifications out there.
Your competencies fall into functional, technical, and behavioral, and those need to be very clearly delineated. I think also 2 pages is probably the golden rule. But if you're a chief executive officer who's done 2 or 3 mergers and acquisitions, you're going to be 3 pages. But I think the thing that we both as recruiters agree to is that brevity is key, but content is more important. And that is, what is your value proposition? What are you trying to tell me about how much you can bring to my company in excess of your cost to my company? So what's that value, and how does that compare with other candidates I'm seeing as a recruiter? And why would I want to present you versus the other 300 resumes that have come in? Why would I look at yours?
Yeah, have your accomplishments, your qualifications. You want those front and center. There's a saying, like, if you fold your front page of the resume, everything above that top of the fold is your most valuable area of real estate. So you want your best stuff up there so that when we're scanning it, we can see, he saved the company, $2 million, or they've done this for the company. They generated all this revenue, or whatever that might be, whatever your value proposition is, whatever your superpowers are. We want to be able to quickly identify that, right? And we can't do that if there are large blocks of text. And I've seen plenty of resumes where they just go on and on and on. This big paragraph of words. In fact, there was one example where it literally was just words separated by commas, where I guess they were just trying to utilize
stream of consciousness thought.
They weren't even sentences. They were just words separated by commas.
You and I, as recruiters, really do see the ugly of they don't know what they don't know. And it's such a shame because many of them have great skills. They just have no clue how to brand or communicate those skills. Tell me about headers. What information do you think should be in the header of a resume that helps you as a recruiter?
Sure. It might sound obvious, but having contact information, right? I've seen plenty of resumes where they don't have the phone number or email, but right up there where, how are we going to contact you if you don't put that up there, right? So that happens, and it's surprising, but it does.
What about LinkedIn profile, Andrew?
Yeah.
Should that be up there too?
Absolutely. Yeah, have your LinkedIn URL up there and make sure that URL is customized to you. It's your name or it's relatable to you. It's not just a long string of letters and numbers. So have that up there along with your phone number, one phone number, the best number to reach you, and an email address. Titles are great too. I mean, if you're targeting something, it's like you've been, consistently promoted up through the ranks of their company from this to the manager level to whatever level, and you're really targeting that next level, and that director of HR title is what you have applied to, that's great. We know that that's what you're targeting, right? Let's talk about that. Have you done what we need you to have done, effectively promote you or represent you for this role?
Do you as recruiters sometimes look at a person and say, they're not a fit for the role here, but I know another role over here that they're a great fit for? Do you do that? Do you switch them over?
All the time. Yeah, because, there are some, there's easily dozens of different opportunities that we're working on, right? And not all of them are posted, right? So they may apply to one position, but we may have 3 other positions really similar to that. Right? So we could be talking about this, but you know what? I think you're a better fit for this other role that we have, right? So, and in some cases, it's like, well, I think you're a good fit for both of these roles, right? So we can really have the conversation and really talk about either one of these, and that's fine when that happens. It's a really marketable candidate.
Yeah, we do the same thing too. We try to be as precise as we can, and I know that I've had a number of clients who have taken the resumes, and a company will say, hey, you're not a fit here. Thank you for applying. And their heart drops to their stomach, but then they give the but we're going to create this position over here because your skills are what we need for the strategy we're trying to achieve and go forward with. So it happens on the job seeker side as well. I just wondered about the recruiting side. We're still on resumes. So what are your pet peeves about resumes?
So I've seen some of the worst resumes of my career, doing an executive search, right? And, some of the things I see that's just really drives me crazy. They don't have a degree, but it looks like they have a degree on the resume, right? And then you find out after doing your due diligence and asking the right questions, you find out they don't actually have a degree. That's frustrating because you spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes, on the call already. And then it's like, well, we can't really present you to this client if you don't have a degree, because that's one of the things that you need to have, right? So that is definitely something that stands out.
Can we just dive a little deeper into that one, Andrew? They have everything else. You've got your checklist. All recruiters have the checklist for the job description, right? How much interpretive freedom do you have to go back to the company and say, look, he doesn't have a degree, but he put this much top line, this much bottom line. He's a great team player. He plays well with others. Will you consider him? Do you do that?
Sometimes. If there's a little leniency there, yeah, I mean, that'd be great, because I've talked to plenty of candidates that don't have a degree that are really strong candidates, besides that, right? Yeah. So it would be great if we can still present them. But there are some clients that that's minimum qualifications. Right. They need to have a bachelor degree, right? Well, then, there's really, because, they're paying us. They're paying us to present to them rock star talent. And so we need to present with the strongest talent we can.
I know when we're working with clients in our retained search division, as you all do, we review their job descriptions before we accept the assignment, because we're concerned that somebody's gone through a checklist. Okay, has to have a master's degree. Why? Is that part of the real function of the job, or is it just somebody saying, oh, we need more master's people? So we really look at that, and I wonder if you find that with masters more than not having a degree. In other words, they say, I need a master's degree, but they really don't. Do you find that to be the case?
Well, most of the time, when it comes to master's degrees, I mean, it's preferred, right? They'll say it's preferred, right? Just like, when they say, we want somebody with a CCP is preferred or an SPHR is preferred. They often don't say it's mandatory that they have that. It's a nice to have type of thing. If it's not a mandatory must have, right? It's okay if they don't have it. But if they do have it, well, that's great, right? We definitely want to highlight that they do have that master's degree or they do have that designation, certification, whatever that is, right?
Sure. We'll round up back to pet peeves. You said that not having your degree on there and trying to make it look like you do. What are some of your other pet peeves?
Oh, putting the references on there, or even saying that references are available upon request. Well, of course they are.
Of course they are. No, I'm not going to give you my references. Come on. Oh, I hope our listeners aren't feeling like we're too cynical, Andrew, but we've been at recruiting a long, long time. And these are just the things we see. You know, it's like doctor, it hurts. Well, the doctor says, don't do that. So we're
right.
Yeah, don't do that.
That's right. That's right. So it's just, it's not a terrible thing. I mean, it's like, okay, you know, I know, you know, maybe they, you know, don't know, but you know, you don't need to put that on there. It's just taking up space, right?
One last thing. What other pet peeve or something that they're doing that is not correct, or just don't do that?
Yeah. So just grossly unqualified, you know, resumes or untargeted.
Oh,
you know, we've all seen this. An HR, you know, director of HR position that we're recruiting for, and somebody who was an accountant someplace, you know, is applying, right? It's just like, okay, this is, you know, they didn't take the time to really read the job description, to target their resume, or maybe they just really just are not qualified for that role, but they're still applying for the role anyway. So we see that all the time.
Well, here's the other side of the coin. I look at it as a company owner and I say, okay, let me see. This person has no qualifications and they didn't read the job description and they applied. What kind of employee would they be if they don't read and don't follow directions?
Yeah, that's another good point. That's another good point.
Yeah. Folks, we have spent a wonderful time here with Andrew Ko. Please look on the guest biography section of the website, and if you'd like to get a hold of Andrew, I'm sure he would like to talk with you. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Andrew, thank you so much.
Thank you for visiting with us. We welcome your comments and suggestions and look forward to having you join us soon at Workplace Strategies.